be bothering my throat. I'll be at the house in 10 minutes. Harold, are you sure this can't wait until tomorrow? I'll even stop by the Way Station Cafe and pick up some cinnamon rolls. Plus, since Carol's out of town, you won't get into trouble. Harold laughed, but it came out choked. I've got a marmalade dropper, and I think it's the story you've been waiting on. Vivian sat forward. Marmalade dropper was Harold's unique way to tell her he had a story, a big one. But even if he hadn't used his familiar phrase, the fact that he suggested this was her story captured her curiosity instantly. Why, what's the story? Vivi, I'll tell you at the house, please. Her heart pulled at the sound of the nickname Harold had dubbed her with almost as soon as she began working for him, ignoring her insistence that her name was just Vivian. Nicknames were familiar. Familiarity meant affection. And affection was harmful. Still, she couldn't ignore the strain in his voice. Fine. She closed her laptop and grabbed her keys. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Ford Avenue was congested with game night traffic. Vehicles covered in cheers for the Cougars, written in shoe polish on their windows, honked playfully at residents young and old as they waved their red and silver banners in the air. Kids with faces painted like the school mascot rode on their dad's shoulders or tugged their moms in the direction of Sandy's ice cream shop, which apparently had extended its hours in honor of the win. The town was alive with celebration. It was all a pitiful reminder of just how lame Vivian was. Several blocks farther down, Vivian turned into the Landing, a subdivision of stately homes with wrap-around porches and wide lawns manicured to HOA standards. She parked behind Harold's white Volvo on Marshford Avenue, the light from his living room illuminating the path up to his porch. Vivian knocked on the door. What kind of story was important enough for her to be standing here this late at night? She didn't have a clue. This was Walton, Georgia, where people lived happily ever after. The words she had typed earlier came back to her. She'd been in the news industry long enough to know there was no such thing. Vivian knocked again, then moved to the front window and peeked in. Her heart stopped at the sight of his body crumpled on the floor. Harold! She grabbed for the doorknob and it turned. Shoving the front door open, she ran to Harold's side. Harold! His face was red, lips blue and swollen. His chest heaved, but only shallow wheezing escaped his throat. Harold, what's wrong? Are you having a heart attack? A subtle shake of his head, and Vivian remembered. Harold had a peanut allergy. Allergic reaction? Are you having an allergic reaction? More wheezing, but his eyes widened a bit before closing. No, he couldn't. Stay with me, Harold. She pulled out her cell phone and dialed 911. After Vivian gave the emergency operator Harold's address, the woman directed her to find his EpiPen. Harold had made sure Vivian knew where he kept it at the office, but this was his house. She looked around, not knowing the first place to look. Her eyes swept across the living room until they landed on the familiar briefcase. It was Harold's, and she knew he'd have one in there. Vivian squeezed Harold's hand. Please don't die, Harold. I can't lose you. Hang on, Harold. Vivian popped open the satchel and dug through it until her hands landed on the pen. She grabbed it and then rushed back to Harold's side, where she removed the cap and pressed the pen to his leg and injected the medicine. The 911 operator stayed on the line to explain what should happen next. Only nothing was happening. It's not working. He's still struggling to breathe. Please help me. Ma'am, help is on the way. Vivi. The strangled whisper from Harold's lips hurt Vivian. Help her. Harold, don't try to speak. Her fingers trembled as they clutched his hand. Help is coming. He moved his head to the side, closing his eyes. No, Harold.